Hi, my name is Vicki and this is my channel, Heartland Knits and Sews, where I talk about all the things I love to do, mostly knitting and sewing. Today is my turn on the vlogger tour for Sew Frugal 25. This is an Instagram challenge that is hosted by Ruanne, who is the Yorkshire Sew Girl, and Sam, who is Frugalissima. It's an Instagram challenge where you sew up a garment in the month of March, and it needs to be made out of a free pattern and your fabric from your stash, and then you post your finished make on the 31st, the last day of the month, on Instagram. Be sure to include the hashtag, which is SewFrugal25, and tag in Ruanne and Sam. And I think they also asked that you put down in your post kind of what country you're from, because there are just a slew of prizes. I will put the slides in from all the different stores and designers and whatnot that are donating prizes. So some of them are UK specific, so I think it's just easier for them, makes their life easier if you put down what country you're in so that they know that. The prizes aren't judged, they're just kind of pulled at random. So that is the very bare bones of it. There's a vlogger tour with one or two people, usually two people, posting sort of inspiration ideas for you. And so today is my day. So when I was thinking about what I wanted to make this year for the challenge and for my video, I decided it needed to be something that I've already made before, and I hadn't made them. I wouldn't know like how they fit. Do they come up true to size? You know, are there any issues with instructions and all of that kind of thing? So I wanted to do a couple of things that I have made myself. So the first one is a little skirt pattern that it comes from my favorite designer. And if you've watched any of my vlogs, you probably know that is Maison Fauve. Last summer, they came out with a little skirt called the Grenadine. It's kind of a little mini skirt. It looks like this. It has this little kind of swooshy thing in the front. And I've made this a couple times. I have plans to make many more. I almost want to make one every month. I just really love it. And so I have a couple here that I can show you of the ones that I did. But first I'll tell you quickly, it is a European sizes 34 to 52, and the waist measures for a size 60 to 104 centimeters, and the hips measure from 88 to 130 centimeters. And I will look up, because I don't have these written down on my page, but I will look them up while I'm editing and put them down on the bottom in what they are in inches, because I have to look up every time I make a pattern. I have to look up and see where I fit, look on my tape measure. And so there is really nothing bare bones about this pattern. You can make it either lined or unlined, and it is just, it's got that fun little swoop, but you can eliminate that. I did that on one of mine, and I'll show you. So the first one I made was this one out of this wide wale corduroy. This came from a Think Pink box that I received last year, and I ended up wearing it a lot last autumn. I made this kind of right at the end of summer. It's got the little swoop in the front, and then it just has a zip in the back, and then like a little facing. Now, I didn't do any changes to the pattern. I did a straight size 46, except for I did lengthen it by 3 centimeters. It still comes up above my knee, but just kind of not halfway up my leg, like sort of like it shows on the picture. And you can see it's got a very slight A-line to it, but not very exaggerated. So that was my first little skirt. And then I made another one in January. Like I said, I really want to make one almost every month now. But in January, I used this tweed. It's a really pretty, I got this years ago from Mood. And you can see I eliminated the swoosh in the front, because this was quite a loosely woven tweed, and I just worried kind of long term about the overlocking holding along that curve. You know, just I was sure it would be fine if I made it, but just kind of long term wearing it, you know, sitting down, standing up, and sliding in and out of cars and all of that kind of thing. I wanted to make sure it lasted because I feel like this is sort of a forever kind of piece, and I did take really careful to pattern match across all of the seams. But anyway, I eliminated. I do think it looks a little more boring, but it was kind of the price I paid. But this is the, let me take it off the hanger. This is the lined one. So I lined it with Bemberg, and it's just like beautifully finished. It's, you know, really nice. There are kind of no kind of shortcuts taken. So in the front, they include for the lining, you have like a kind of little sort of darts. It's completely bagged out. So if you're like me and you want to lengthen it, I recommend doing the unlined version first, because how this one is, when you sew the lining onto the outer, you do it kind of through the opening that you leave, that you turn the whole thing out around. So if you were like a little bit off and you're like, oh, I wish it was 3/4 of an inch different, or it's a little too long or a little too short, it would be a real pain. Because at first, when I did the corduroy one, I lengthened the pieces 5 centimeters or 2 inches. And then when I put that hem up, I thought, no, I want it to be a little bit shorter. So I was really glad I had my length figured out, because yeah, that would be a really pain. But yeah, this is, I'm really, really happy with it. So I have a ton more planned, kind of a lot for summer. So the project that I'm going to do for this month is this little skirt, and I'm going to use this black denim, which I've had for a really long time. And I was thinking I was going to use this silver piping to do the little swoosh in the front. I thought that could be kind of fun. This piping came from Maison Fauve. I ordered from them before Christmas, and they had kind of this piping metallic silver, gold, and kind of a bronze. And I got a couple meters of each one. You really only need like a little bit less than a meter to do it. And so I was thinking the silver one, but I just finished a little shirt out of this, which is a Liberty print. And I thought I have a couple, you know, these like squares left that I could do like a continuous bias method with it. And I thought that could be kind of fun on there. So let me know what you think. I am thinking of doing a white denim one for summer, and this would be pretty on that too. Originally, I thought of using the gold with the white denim, but I don't know. Let me know what you think. Do the silver or the Liberty? You can also, with the denim, I have seen pictures on Instagram where people just kind of do a decorative stitch along there, or you could even just, you know, just do 2 rows of top stitching like you do on jeans or something. Anyway, that is my idea. That is kind of what I am planning to make for my project for Sew Frugal. So the second skirt that I wanted to show you that you can make, that's completely free. It's free because you've drafted yourself. And I call these my silly skirts. I used to make one of these kind of every summer. I don't think I made one last year, but I had sort of fabric laying around and I kind of didn't know what to do with it. And I don't know. So I started sewing, I don't know, 7-8 years ago, and I would go to Joann's and they'd have all this like quilting cotton, all these novelty prints, and I would buy like these novelty printed fabrics, and kind of quickly discover I really didn't want to wear like a dress out of novelty print fabric. But I had all of these, so I kind of didn't know what to do with them. And so I started making these skirts up, and it would be kind of one for every summer, because it's based on your waist measurement, and my waist measurement would be different every summer. It would be up, it would be down, it would be whatever. So the first one I made, I thought I will show these to you, and then kind of give you the links to kind of where I sort of learned to put them together. So the first one I did was this one, which I think was an Alexander Henry fabric, the Flying Machines, and it's just a little skirt. It's got a zip up the back, and also, if I was kind of like practicing doing invisible zips, so this one I put a red invisible zip in because it had this little reds sort of here on the sewing machines. So yeah, so it is kind of really easy. They're like super easy to just like throw on with a t-shirt, and like I would put these on to just kind of run to the store or go to the farmer's market, or if I needed to go out to the garden. So I grow roses, and even if I go out there to water, I'm deadheading, I'm like in kind of amongst them, and the thorns. I really don't want to wear anything like that I really like out there, and this is not kind of precious. If something happened, I wouldn't care that much. So yeah, so that is the first one, and then I made this one, which I think was sort of the same sort of thing, a little cherry one. I would just wear them with a little t-shirt. And then this one is a little bit different, that it has kind of buttons up at the front. And yeah, so it has like, yeah, I don't think I'd want to dress out of this, but a little skirt. And I made this one the year that I got my bicycle, which you usually see in the back of my videos. It's sitting right there. I'm on the other side of the room today, but it's like mint green, and these are full enough skirts that you can like safety pin the kind of the front and back together between your legs, so that if you're riding a bicycle, you don't get a sudden swoosh of wind and that blows your skirt up. So that works too. So yeah, it's just a really sort of basic kind of like self-drafted pattern that you could use just the fabric that you have. I usually put in kind of really wide hems, and it's based on your waist measurement, and then with a little bit of extra just for ease. And then there are a couple different tutorials. I know Gertie has one. She has a video on Tilly and the Buttons. This was the Tilly and the Buttons one because it had the buttons down the front. So then both of those use gathers. You have your fabric and you gather it into the waistband, which is easier. I don't really like gathers around my waist, so I put in pleats, box pleats. And so I will put the link to kind of where it's a little bit arithmetic, really, just figuring out the length of fabric that you have, the size of your waistband, and how much fabric needs to go in each pleat, like how many pleats you're going to put on it. I did 2 in the front, 2 in the back, and then you just calculate how much to put into those. But yeah, it's like simple. I haven't made one, but I do have a couple fabrics that I still have left. I won't make one this month because, ever hopeful that my waist size will be smaller by summer. But yeah, so this is one that has like watermelons. I don't think I'd want a watermelon dress, or like what to do. I have a ton of this one, and this was left over. I did actually make a dress out of this. It is long. It would not fit at all, so I should probably use this one because it's left over, but it's pretty. It's got little birds on it. I do love little pink birds. So yeah, so I have both of those still sort of waiting in the wings. Yeah, I hope you found those ideas useful. I would love it if you would subscribe to my channel if you're not already a subscriber. I'm ever so close to reaching the 1,000 subscriber mark. Just a little over 25 to go. So I'd love it if you were one of them to put me over that. And be sure to like the video, and be sure to go and watch all the other videos for the Vlogger tour. And yeah, until I see you next time, happy sewing.